Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Avenger. Its continuing mission to blow stuff up and to rob people blind. And I'll be your host, Justin Pontarelli, as the voice and thought process behind Don Karnage, the leader of the Black Sun faction. And this is the series finale of A Pirate's Life. Here we go. Stand by. But first, before we continue, an introduction for this episode would not be complete without the following. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Pause it first. Yes, Don Karnage has had a long career in order to get to this point. His faction, Black Sun, is now fully self-sufficient. His rivals seem powerless, or so they seem. Little does our not-so-famous pirate know, a secret plot has been hatched between friend and foes alike. No longer are they willing to play second fiddle to the powerful space mafia boss, the incredible Don Karnage. With plans laid, the gauntlet cast, the day of reckoning has finally arrived. Will our hero or his powerful faction survive? Or, like Rome, will it all crumble and burn? Will Don Karnage escape to fight another day? Or has our hero seen his last proverbial sunset? Find out right now. Let's go. And speaking of proverbial sunsets, here we go. The Starship Avenger. Don Karnage, or I should say the flagship of Don Karnage. It's being a little slow for some reason. There she is. The Avenger. Piloted by Captain and Commander of the faction Black Sun, Don Karnage. The not-so-infamous pirate bandit captain. Okay, just bear with me. I'm a little shaky. I think I had a little too much caffeine recently. A little bit of Pepsi before a couple hours back, so I think we're okay though. So, as you heard the storyline, this is it. The Day of Reckoning. Let's quickly go over though our property. As we know, we are in fact fully self-sufficient. Okay, a shipyard, 2 military bases, including the Iron Vulture, Tortuga Station, a trade station, great source of income. Okay, we're about to dock, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Hold on. Hate being caught off guard like this when it happens. We'll go back to the list. There we go. So yeah, we can now manufacture guns. I think that was like our first station that we made. You know, hey, if you're a space mafia crime lord, you've got to make space guns, right? Finally, we made jewelry later on. That's relatively new, that station, which is chugging out lots of cargo. It's nice. A second refinery, yeah, we have 2 of those now. Both of which are pretty much full. We also make space bikes. This one so far is not producing anything, but that's not going to matter because it's all going to come crashing down, potentially, today in this episode. We have a great supply of food from our organic farm, the orbital farm. Definitely got plenty of ration packs. I mean, the Black Sun faction's never going to go hungry. I mean, look at this place, right? Lots of ration packs. Okay. The rum, unfortunately, is pretty much gone. Only 24 Pindolan Ale. The farm was supposed to cover that problem, okay. But the issue with the farm is it tends to mostly produce produce and not as many food grains. And because it fills up so fast with water and produce, it's very hard to get enough food grains produced and get them out of there and transferred to the Pindolan Ale refinery, or whatever it's called. The clinic is relatively new. I think it was made like maybe last episode or maybe 2 episodes ago. So you got the clinic, or a hospital, okay, which is actually producing medical packs, which is great. So if these guys get busted up in battle, boom, they're all set, you know, just go to the clinic and get patched up, right? You know, packs for everybody. I'm not sure why a pirate would want a sleep pod, but there you go. You got hypersleep pods. And of course the outpost, okay? So, again, going through all this list, guys, we have everything a faction could need or want. Yeah, we're lacking a repair bay or a repair base, but because the station and the shipyard and the military bases can repair ships as well, a repair base is really not necessary. And of course, you don't need a storage locker thing, so let me quickly show you what I'm talking about anyway, real quick. I'll just show you. Okay. So, scroll down to the bottom of the list, okay? That we have that. See the blue? See the blue? That's us. That's ours. Okay. Or never mind. That's where you can find all those things. Let's go back up here instead. I'm sorry. I'm doing this the wrong way. Blue means we have something that deals with that, right? Blue, right? Blue, that's us. Blue, we do that too. Blue, we have, you know, that stuff. Blue, we have that stuff. Blue, we can make this stuff. We can make those too. We accept ice. No one makes this. But we do accept it. Iron ore. We have that. Medical packs. Got that covered. Nano chips. Covered. Plenty of demand for them as well. Ration packs. Got a ton of those. Pindolan Ale. Covered. Plasma rifles. Not a problem. Food, i.e. produce. No problem. Lots of purified water. We do accept scrap at both of our refineries. Okay. We definitely have military bases that supply weaponry. Okay. ECMs, missiles especially. Okay. Everything's covered. And as far as the station parts, we have those here. Okay. You don't need a storage locker, and you really don't need a repair shop if you have a military base. Okay. So yes, this faction is totally, completely self-sufficient. So let's go over our ships again for those who have not fully seen all this stuff. There's nothing really new, I think, except for one vessel. Okay. The Avenger is my flagship, even though I do have an Overlord. The Overlord is nice, but I tend to think of it more like an enforcer. Okay. And a lot of these are guards. You have the Hazard, the Reliance, both guards. You got the two Pioneers, the Ransom and the Detour. You got the Haulers, the Ajir, the Zebra, more Guardians, the Brigadier, the Interceptor, the Kenya, more cargo ships, the Beresford, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, the Mayflower, the Fireball, the Impregnable, the Raider, the Rambler, yep, Sentinel's the new one, protecting the bike shop, the York, the Crusher, Kilfinney, Salute, the Illusive, our big guy, the capital ship, and finally the Detour, the final, transport vessel. So, for those of you who have been paying attention, we started off pretty small with just the Hornet, which we eventually sold. Then we bought the Avenger. It didn't come with that name, but we renamed it. Okay. And then finally, got the passenger haulers for some, background income. And then finally, we made ourselves a base, the Iron Vulture, followed by all sorts of stuff. Okay, so here we are. So what's the plan? Or I should say, not that it's a plan, but what's the storyline gonna be now? Real simple. See all these factions? Even the ones that like us, they're all gonna declare war on us. Because that's what the storyline calls for. Or more precisely, we're gonna declare war on them, but that's really not what's going on, though we're really, okay. So yeah, guys, we do have two current enemies right now, but Phoenix Force is weak, okay, being only one vessel, and Upland's not a big deal either. I did try to reset Upland, but I could not find the remaining vessel, so, but there's still a lot of powerful, enemies out there that can probably decimate us, alright? But first things first, I want to get all my ships patched up and ready for war, even including the haulers and the whatchamacallits, the passenger ships. Okay, so, but that's a lot of ships, as you noticed. Okay, I want to say at least 15 of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the game and get it ready for you guys to watch. Okay, and the recording. See you soon. Oh no. The fleet is ready. Every single last ship that can fight is ready to fight. Although for realism, I decided not to arm the crayons or the haulers. Okay? Because in reality, you're not going to see a giant sneak attack coming, and you're not going to be prepared for it. Likewise, I decided not to have the Pioneer vessels, this thing, and its other little buddy, so the Detour and the Ransom, are still doing passenger runs because, that's what they'd be doing when the actual declaration of war comes from every single faction united together. Okay. So we're keeping them... So basically everything is being kept the way it is, and the Ransom and the Detour were already armed to the teeth before this video anyway. Okay. And this guy here was an abandoned vessel that just popped up that I had gotten. Again, we want to keep this list clean for right now. Okay. So now, back to the story. I can find... There you go. Okay. Little did Don Karnage know that forces intent on his destruction and the destruction of his faction had plans for him and his faction. Plans for doom. Dun, dun, dun. Stand by. I'm going to pause the recording, and when we come back, you will see. Oh yes, we shall see. Please stand by. And then, as if some secret signal had been given, all hell broke loose. Reports were coming in everywhere from attacks across the uncharted universe. Don Karnage began to sweat. He began to panic. Here are the reports at his desk. Sir, we're under attack here. What are your orders? Orders. Of course. Is that what you want? Here are my commands. All ships, all sectors, prepare to counterattack. Don Karnage ran to his ship, which was tucked inside the Iron Vulture. Beads of sweat poured off his face. As he realized one thing, he had this coming. He had made powerful enemies, even among his so-called allies. They all sought to take him down. The question is, would he survive the night? Fire! All hands! Fire at will! He had given the order. The Illusive was on its way. His property, his base, was under attack. He did not know what to do. Enemy ships are all over the place. There was incoming. Boy, was there incoming. Don Karnage, for the first time, was worried. He boarded the Vulture. He knew what he had to do. He could not let his ship or his station be destroyed. The Illusive had been ordered to intercept. Meanwhile, he assessed the damage. The Kilfinny. The Sentinel. The Hazard. For a moment, everything seems quiet. Perhaps too quiet. And then, another. And another. The reports poured in. He knew what he had to do. He had to fly out to meet whatever destiny lay in front of him. And okie dokie. Definitely one side effect of declaring war on every single team all at once. You see all these guys up here? Yeah, they don't get it, do they? But guys, seriously though, I didn't know what would happen necessarily. It was kind of just, you know, anyway. The initial declaration of war did work. Okay, it did seem to stick. And most of it has stuck. Okay. We'll have to go out and start shooting things randomly. Just play along, you know, as if, you know, as if it had been like a thing all along, you know? Let's go. He knew he had to ride out to meet the Illusive. It was the only way. Everyone was in. Everyone was in on the joke. Everyone was in on the plot. Don Karnage knew this for a fact. It was the only answer. Oh. Oh yeah, here we go. Reports were coming in non-stop. There's apparently nothing that could be done. Okay. Sir, Captain of the Illusive standing by. He wants to know your orders. Just tell him to stand by. The fireball was lost. The Sentinel had been destroyed. More property had been destroyed. More ships falling. It was a complete waste. A total, utter waste. Beads of sweat poured down his face as Don Karnage locked onto yet another target. The Independence was up ahead. Enemy base was nearby. It was time to destroy it. But no. Now was not the time. But then again, the Illusive opened fire. Time had been lost. Ships, turrets. There was no end to the carnage. Some of the bandits seemed to be holding off. Don Karnage wondered why. In a moment, they had turned on him. He wondered if they could be trusted. Another ship. More incoming. The thirst for battle raged inside of Don Karnage as he spotted the Emerald and the Consort. And then finally, the dreaded mercenary, Berg. Don didn't know what to do. Carnage and death everywhere. Carnage and death. Don Karnage knew all too well what he had to do. Berg would have to wait. Don had to get home. Back to base. Messages were pouring in. Too quick for him to read. His parents had once told him, "Son, one day you'll get yourself into trouble with your temper and lust for power." The Don had laughed at his parents that day. But the day those words echoed in the dark recesses of his mind, he knew better. He had known better. In his rage, he destroyed a random buoy. Every ship was now a potential enemy, waiting. Just waiting. The Illusive was trailing. He began to read his battle reports. To his amazement, he was still receiving bounties from those who had moments ago declared war upon him. More distress calls. Random ships. Reporting attacks by Black Sun. As if they had been the aggressors in the fight. As if they were the victims. That's what it was. And then Don Karnage knew the truth. Jealousy. That's what it was. Simple, utter jealousy. The enemy was quiet now. Don Karnage knew this wouldn't last. He laughed at the concept. Just the pure thought of countless ships attempting to destroy his own. Bah. Bah, he told himself. This is a joke. He checked his sensors. He wanted to know how bad it was. Most of the turrets were still in place. His patrollers, still in one, still together. That's right. It would be okay. How could it not be? More reports coming in. Too many to read. The Illusive was under attack. Don Karnage, in his blindness, was going in the wrong direction. Sir, retreat of patrollers. R6. Of course. Why wouldn't they be? The Illusive. The sounds of missile fire. The captain of the Berg, the captain of the Illusive, had ordered it cloaked. Don Karnage told himself, if ever such a thing happened again, he'd have to replace the commander of the Illusive with someone more aggressive. The Iron Vulture was relatively safe. He could not let his ship be destroyed. He could not allow his vessel to go down. The vessel he worked so hard to maintain. It was his baby. It was his life. It was like an old friend. He swore vengeance on his so-called allies. They must have been the ones that arranged the attacks. He sped on his way to the Androla sector. He had a hunch. Things were peaceful now. He had read the messages, or skimmed them, at the very least. He was tempted to check a list, but he fought hard against it. He knew what had to be done. The trouble had to be in the Demampa sector. No, perhaps not. Perhaps Trekos. Androla seemed fine. As he checked his scanners, he could see no signs of danger. How far did this conspiracy go? He dared not think about it. He knew what he would do. He would first go to Trekos. In his rage, he considered taking down the nearby equipment dealer, so-called. The Lightning. What a silly name for a ship, he thought. The Illusive was trailing. The Avenger was on its own. Its crew seemed nervous. The Don looked around. Scanners up. Something he always told his crew. He was cautious, but ready to be aggressive. The Illusive was now trailing, ready to fight. He saw a target. He went for it. Patroller. Of course. He laughed. A maniacal laugh. Perhaps not so maniacal, considering the circumstances. The Illusive flung itself into battle. The Illusive was under attack. It could be destroyed. If Don Karnage was uncareful. Don Karnage in all his fury opened full attack on the Spire. The Overlord would die. That's all there was to it. Full about! Full weapons! Full spread! Fire at will! Barked Captain Don. He was in his element. He reveled in battle. Another attack. Another ship gone. As they would say, another one falls. Another one bites the dust. The Illusive, lagging behind, seemed to hesitate, as if there was a question. But oh no. Don Karnage knew better. This was a matter of honor. sir. What? We're out of missiles. Do you think I care? Open fire on the shipyard. Hi, Captain. Don Karnage, in the Avenger, was going to make sure that the Saber shipyard was destroyed. Missiles or no missiles. Well, the Illusive assisted. Don Karnage plotted his next move. The refinery. The refinery would have to go too. But could he do it? Could it be done so soon? The equipment dealer had invited him aboard, offering to supply him weaponry. He couldn't pass up the chance. Spare parts littered the field, but the Don wanted his weapons. One of them now. One of them hot. Live. Another shipyard. He couldn't believe it. It had to be a joke. A simple farce. It would not stand long. The Don would make sure of that. Ah, yes. He would make sure of that. The Illusive, as always, lagged behind. The once legendary mercenary, the ship Margaret, was now a foe. Could her pilot have been the one that organized the fight? Don Karnage did not know. But there she was nonetheless, armed, with weaponry. They could only have come from the Don. His shields were down. There's a shipyard in sight of the Prophet Order. Don Karnage in his panic radioed the base. He was to be allowed in. But you don't understand why. Could it be that he would be allowed on board? He repaired his ship. And prepared to leave the area. This was far from over. The Illusive was in bad shape. They would have to go back to Galene. Back to the home base of the Illusive. Suddenly the thorn, out of nowhere, decloaked. The Illusive was in bad shape. Don Karnage would not allow his lovely prize to be destroyed. Another volley, perhaps 2, 3 perhaps at most. And then it was over. As quickly as it had begun. For a moment, the Don could not think clearly. Helemus. He had to go to Helemus first. They had to leave the area. It was their only choice. The Illusive was damaged. Its hull had taken a beating. He radioed the captain. Commander. Aye, sir. We're returning to Galene to repair. Whoever started this war, we will finish it. We, sir? Yes. With you as my right arm, we cannot be destroyed. Captain, battle reports coming in. Patch them through. Impregnable. Nothing major. A random turret. In the middle of nowhere. An ambush. Or simply a war zone. They didn't have the time. Weaponry. But the impregnable is going down. As was the raider. Both ships were in tough spots. The Hydra base would have to be destroyed first. There was nothing else that could be done. They would not declare surrender. Powerful weapons flew through the hull of the wrecked base. The Illusive let loose on Hydra base. Galene. They had to get to Galene. There was nothing else they could do. Another equipment dealer. Friend or a foe. Scavengers. Look at them. They think they own everything. Don Karnage knew one thing. They had to carry on. Reports of battle kept coming in. The Rambler, the Raider, and the Impregnable were all that was left of the Lemus garrison. Thankfully, the outpost in Galene still survived, still stood. Time and space seemed to distort themselves. But this was no laughing matter. Reloading his ship. Reloading his ship, Don Karnage wondered. if things would turn out okay. He ordered the commander of the Illusive to repair at base. Repairs are extensive. Sir, what now? Barked the commander through the intercom of the Illusive. Just like before, follow my lead. Stay close behind me. Be ready for anything. Be ready for anything. The ultimate call of the warrior. And Don Karnage's final plea, as once again he found himself flying off into the proverbial sunset. To be continued on part 2 of the grand finale. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. Please leave any questions, comments, and or constructive criticism down below. Hope you enjoyed the new style of the grand finale. Didn't quite work out like I wanted it to, I'm not gonna lie. Certainly it could have gone better. I mean, declared war with like everyone. That took like an hour just almost to get this whole thing set up just to do the video in the first place. And now all of a sudden it's like it's not working fully like I wanted it to, you know? But then again, that's what happens when you're the bad guy and then you attack good guys, and then the bad guys are like, he's not that bad. He's still one of us. And then they declare peace with you automatically. So, guys, in case you're wondering, declarations of war don't always stick. Anyway, enough of that. You know what to do? If you don't like the video, leave a thumbs down. Please tell me why. Virus 2020. Wash your hands. Guys, until next time, see ya. Don Karnage, signing off.